Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craftery. Today we are doing a little project for arm's length art. Now if you haven't heard of that term, Kim Newberg started that. Basically it's working with stuff on your desk within your arm's length. This isn't really arm's length because I had to go get stuff, but it's mass making, and what we're going to do is we're making a bunch of these journal cards. Now I'm trying to use stuff up, using stuff up that's already made, that I already have scraps, etc. So I'm actually doing 20 of them. And you can see I'm mass making them because I've got them to this stage. And I thought, I better get busy and make a video. So what I've got, these pictures were in a old plant book. Now I've got a whole bunch here. I've torn them out of the book. I've cut cardstock, like greeting card stuff for the backs of each of them, and I want to eventually use up all of these making something. I've got an old hymn book here. It was from 1946. You can see all the pages that I've torn out of it, so I'm trying to use that up. My cardstock piece for this, you can still see some of the writing there, but that doesn't matter. I've got some embroidery floss, and I've got a stamp. Now the stamp was kind of a last minute thing. I have lots of stamps to use up. This is just one of my little cases. So I thought, this would be a good time to use up some postage stamp. And I've got a chunk of lace that I had already dug out. So let's get started on this here. Now, before I forget, I'm going to ink this right now, because I know this will be the one thing that I forget. I do have the name of the flower, but I might cover that up, I might not. So let's just ink that. Now, I've got some art glitter glue, and I have some glue stick. Let's take the pin out of my glue. Now, I learned this little trick on a video. Sorry, I can't remember whose video it was. And I thought it was a great idea, and I tried it on these cards that I've made, and it worked out good. So you can see some of the writing from the greeting card is still on there. So I want this side to see. So I'm going to put glue on here. Now, the person's tip was to not put your glue stick all the way to the edge. That way you don't make a mess everywhere. And I thought, that sounds like a good idea. So that's what I did, and I like it. And now I'm going to go with my wet glue just around the very edge, which also gives me a better glued edge, I think. I mean, the wet glue is better than the glue stick as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to put that off to the side, just like that. And I'm going to press that down. Sorry, because I know I'm going to be jiggling the camera. My plastic table is not very sturdy. So then we've got basically our little piece of cardstock, greeting cardstock. It is glued with the music on the paper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this over. And I do not need any more strength, so that's why I did it this way. Once it's folded, I'm just going to rip that. Now, I love the look that it gives. And it's okay if I see the cardstock underneath, because once I ink that, it's going to be fine. Folding it like this just gives it an easier tear. Not that this hymn paper is not hard to tear at all. But it gives me that nice rough edge look, which I really like. And it does it right up against the cardstock because, of course, it's glued down. Which is something else that makes it easier. So we got that. Now let's go ahead and let's ink this. Just so then it's done. Try not to lean against the table to make it jiggle. Hope everybody's doing good, and I'm glad you're here. I would love it if you liked, shared, and subscribed and all that stuff. Check out any links below. I do like how this is coming along, these cards. I did make some other cards actually out of these as well. And I love the colors. Now I'm going to glue that right on the top of there. Got the order that I did things in? Yep. And make sure I do everything in the right order. Now I could use, actually let's go ahead and let's use the glue stick on this as well. Can't remember if I did that on my other one or not. The glue stick, it dries, but it doesn't dry really quick. So I know I'm jiggling. Okay, let's put some of this around the edge. Try not to get any on my music sheet behind it. Just put a little X on there. And let's try to get that relatively in the middle and even. Press that all down. I use these Amazon Basic glue sticks. Kim Newberg told me about them, and they actually work pretty good. They're very reasonably priced, which is nice. But I do love art glitter glue for like a wet based glue. Now, I've already got these kind of prepped, and they're just a little strip. I used these pieces that I tore off from the cards, and I just took out like a strip of the music. And that's going to go, now I could leave it high enough to see that writing, or I can put this low enough. This one I think I'm going to put high enough to actually see that Forget-Me-Not. And I'm going to go ahead and use the glue stick for this. It glues this music paper down really good because it's just such lightweight paper. Guess I should do it the right way up. And that's just going to go there. Just going to add a little bit of decoration. I wanted to use up as many of the scraps of this paper as I could. So this worked out really, really well. Now I want a piece of lace. Now all 20 of these I'm going to pretty much make the same. When I do mass make things, I tend to do them the same, which I like and I don't like. So this is going to go down on here. So let's, actually I'm going to put my glue on my lace. Lace is never easy to glue down as far as I'm concerned. I try to put the glue kind of more on the solid spots of the lace. Because of course those are the spots that are going to be connected to the paper the most. Okay, let's put that down. I want to see the music paper on the top. Let's get rid of that glue. And with the lace, I find it easiest if, excuse me, if you don't like press it down really hard. So I'm just kind of using the weight of my hand to kind of get it connected to the paper. And of course, it always takes a little bit of time to dry. Now, I pre-made a bunch of these little folded paper ribbons. I do like to ink the edges. Hold on one second. Just had a little coughing fit there. So I made these little folded ribbons out of a little piece of the music paper. Like this piece here, I just made a little narrower, folded it back and forth. There's lots of tutorials on making these folded paper ribbons. And I'm just going to glue it up. I'm going to use a fair bit of glue on this because it is going on top of the lace. Just going to kind of put that in the middle. Like that. And then I tried to pick out a color of floss that would match whatever colors. Now I did cover up a fair bit of the flower on this one, but that's okay. So I took a piece of this and I'm just going to tie a little bow. And I'm using embroidery floss because I have a lot of it. And because I've got so many different colors, I can get a color that's going to bring out the color on the flowers. I was told years ago that you put little extras on your projects for like to bring out the color of something. So because I want to bring out the color of the flowers, if I add something blue, then it'll bring it out. Same as if you're like matting a picture. Put the matting, the color of something you want to bring out on in the picture. If that makes sense. So that's what I am doing with the colors. Just a basic, real basic little bow. And of course, your threads never go where they want or where you want them to go. But that's okay because we can glue them down a little bit to make them go where we want. So a little bit of glue there. That's just going to get glued there. Let's bring our ties kind of down where we want them. And of course, being that this is like a not fabric, but you know. So that is cute. I like it. Now, it would, like I say, it was the last minute to bring in the stamp because I have so many of them and I want to start using them up. So that was a good idea, I think, and it gives an extra layer. But most of all because I've got lots and need to use them up. So this one here was kind of nice because the blues kind of were close to that. So we got that. Of course, some I'll put on this side. I might even put some other places. Now on this one, I put this down there because that's the actual name of the book. And that was kind of on the title page. Perfect Peace. So I thought, well, what am I going to do for the other ones? And they all had little titles on the hymns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rip this out. And I think I'm going to leave that little bit of writing on the bottom that says copyright 1946 by the Stamps Quartet Music Company in Perfect Peace. Just adds a little bit of tidbit. And I'll rip all the edge. If I'm going to rip one edge, I might as well rip them all. And then we're going to put this on the back. Just to add a little bit on the back and to tie it in with the front. So I'm just going to put that. Now I could put it on the top. I can put it on the bottom. Doesn't really matter. Again, this paper is so light that it'll glue down really, really easy with just a glue stick. There's that. I'm going to put that right there. Whoops. Now I could easily add a stamp on the back of this or something else, but I think that will be good. So there we have, see now this here is going a little bit not quite where I want it, so I'm just going to put a dab of glue right there, and I'm just going to kind of glue that down where I want it, just to hold it. Like this one here too, you can see that they've kind of gone all over the place, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a dab of glue. I can put it on the paper as well. Don't need much glue for this. Sorry, my hands are in the way, so I know you can't really see what I'm doing. So there's that there. And let's just go ahead and put a dab of glue right about there. And just glue that. I don't want them like all straight and even. I just want them kind of hanging down. And I guess I might as well put a dot on this one, so that it stays down too. As we put them in and out of pockets and whatnot, they probably will go all over the place. So now we have 2 of these done. Really, it's only using a couple of different things. There's the backs of them. So lots of the journaling spot that we can write on. I've got all of these to do, so there's another 18 here, might be 19, so maybe I'll be doing 21, I can't remember on my final count. But now I'll do these in stages. I will put these onto here on them all and do them all. Then I'll glue on the little bottom and the lace and the little top piece. Then I'll go and I'll do all the stamps, and then I'll go and I'll do all the bows, then I'll go and I'll do the thing on the back, and then I'll be done. I love mass making things like these, And I do enjoy making ephemera and embellishments more than I actually like making a journal. But I got to use these up somehow, so I've got to make journals. But when I do go to make a journal, it's just taking one of these, slipping it in a journal. The one thing I don't like about mask making, and this is just the way I do mask making, is they all turn out to be pretty much the same thing. A little bit different, of course, because your pictures are different, your stamps are different. But I make them all the same, which is not a bad thing, because no two are going to be alike. They're all going to be different to a point. So let me know, do you mask make things like this? If you do you make them all the same like I do? Or do you make them different? And if you do make them different, how do you do that? Like, do you have a video on it? Or anything like that? Because I would love to know how I could make these different, but yet mass make them. I do like the way they turn out though, so it's not like a bad thing. Hope that all makes sense. But please check out the links below, check out the shops, come by and visit me on Facebook. And hope you enjoyed this little project, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.